Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to a Let's Play stream of Elite Dangerous. I am Zach, one of the community managers here at Frontier, and I'm joined by another community manager, Bruce Garrido. How are you, mate?
Hi, Zach. Yeah, doing really well. Thanks, bud. Very happy to be here. I appreciate you having me on for another stream. I think this is our something like our second or
Second, yeah.
third, second
Yep.
together. So yeah, exciting. Hello, chat. Greetings to everyone, and lots of O7s to give out because well, so many of you turned up to see us stream, which is
Yeah,
great.
it's
So
lovely.
uh,
I'm trying to
we've
sort my
got
focus
there's
out.
literally too many names to call out, but O7 to Shale, Vilxian, Linksalot, Temcat, who else do we have? Kagar, Razgriz, 070707. Thank you so much for joining us.
No whiteboard today, Bruce.
No, it's a little bit off camera at the moment. But yeah, after the last slip up that we had with it, I've been told to keep it out of shot.
It's probably wise.
Yeah.
Chat, I know that my camera is blurred. It was not blurred at all until I pressed the start stream button. So that's just how life goes sometimes. It'll sort itself out. So, what have we got today? So today we have no community goal, but what has happened are some bombs. We'll talk about it a bit later in detail, but that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be rescuing some passengers who need to escape from one of the starports in the Sol system. But before we do that, we've just got one interesting thing that we want to mention, and that is that Irritability are putting on a special event on Saturday called Armchair Aurora. Aurora is one of those words that I always struggle to say. Maybe it's because of my accent. Aurora. It's
I
a
think you nailed it.
Yeah. You happy with that?
Yeah, that'll do.
It's a 3 to attend live stream event that will be all about the science and art behind an aurora. So one of the guests is Nigel Meredith, and he'll be talking about sounds of space, as recorded at Halley Research Station in Antarctica, and how they've been combined with piano music to create ambient soundscapes. So this is extra interesting for elite players because those sounds of space are actually in Elite Dangerous, the ones from Halley. So we thought it'd be interesting for some of our players to look out for this weekend. If you do want to find out more about that, you can use !Aurora. That's AURORA in the chat, or you can Google Ability Armchair Aurora if you're on YouTube. But yeah, that's something really really cool. It was sent our way. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do check it out, guys. Should be a real treat.
Yeah, there's no drops today. We will let you know when drops return.
Yeah, much like I think we mentioned this on the Tuesday stream, we do have some drop-enabled streams planned. Hopefully very soon. We're actually working on the feedback that you guys have given, which is enough with the purple stuff. We've all got
Nobody
it
wants
now.
purple anymore.
Yeah, purple is no longer the hot thing. That's not to say we won't bring it back in future for anyone who's missed it. We probably will. But in the meantime, we're looking for some other goodies that we can attach to Twitch drops to give you guys. And we'll probably do them for special streams that we have upcoming. There's going to be some activity around things like the alpha launch and whatnot. So yes, they will be soon.
Yep. So let's move on to the main event of today then. I guess. Bruce, do you want to quickly give a quick summary of what's happened today in the Elite universe?
Yeah, absolutely. So this big galactic summit, which Sirius won the bid to host, has had a spot of bother. So it's been ended prematurely after terrorist bombings against 9 starports across the Alliance, Empire, and Federation. Sirius Corp confirmed that the cancellation was due to fears that Patterson Enterprise Station may be the next target. The Neo-Marlist Liberation Army, otherwise known as the NMLA, have claimed responsibility for the simultaneous attacks in these 9 systems, including superpower capitals Akanar, Alioth, and Sol. If you want to see the full article and you haven't read about it yet, !Galnet for our Twitch chat should take you there.
Yeah.
For our YouTube viewers, I think it's community.elitedangerous.com.
That sounds correct from my research. So yes, as Bruce mentioned, 9 stations have been affected, and I guess I'll just list them off for you if you don't know and you do want to know. So that's Dawes Hub in the Akanar system, Donaldson in the Alioth system, Dublin Citadel in the Gateway system, Han Gateway in the Nanomam system, Ito Orbital in the Rhea system, Lave Station in the Lave system, Li King Jiao in the Sol system, Parkinson Dock in the Aotienses system, I'm going to guess, and Shan Market in the Kamadenu system. So if one of those is your home station or somewhere that you visit frequently, now might be a good time to help them out and get them back on the feet.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually got a message from Vat Itten. I always get I can't pronounce the name very well. I should. I'm supposed to know a bit of French, but it's very poor. They've launched. Following Lave Station being under attack among the 9 other stations, Operation Orange Peel has just been
Nice.
kickstarted with a all pilot alert for the Lave Station. Sorry, the home of Lave Radio in the Lave system. So yeah, if you're affiliated with those guys at all and you want to help them out in particular, we're not saying don't help the others, but if you wanted to, they've started launching an appeal for help.
Yeah, and there is a couple of other groups that I want to give a quick shout out to that do typically help with these rescues, and that is the Post Disaster Evacuation Service, and it is their prime responsibility. Obviously, when these kind of things happen, they take action and they get people out. So they currently have carriers in Raya and Lave to help boost the evacuation effort. And if you do want to find out more about those, you can use !PDES in the chat, and that should send you to their Discord. And there's another group called Medicorp, and they're predominantly a French group, but they do welcome English-speaking players, and they do the same kind of thing, and that's !Medicorp to find out about those. So if you do want to join a group and play with other players to help rescue these stations, then those two are a pretty good bet.
Yeah, absolutely. Hutton have actually put out a site for Operation Orange Peel. Sorry, I don't think we have a command for it, but I'll post it in the chat. It's hot.forthemug.com
Nice.
/current-events /orange-peel. So if you want to get involved there, you can log your activity with them. Also, don't forget to tune in for Hutton Orbital's live coverage of these events as they unfold from 8:30 this evening.
So what we're going to do today is actually take part in this event, and we're actually in the Sol system. So we'll jump over to the game. And what's going to happen today is I'm going to be piloting, and you can all laugh at my docking skills, while Bruce is going to be answering chat and talking to everybody in chat. So let's move over to that.
Sounds like a plan.
So I'm currently at Mars High, which is a station obviously above Mars. And what we're going to do is make our way over to the station that needs some help.
Yeah. Cyberdarmy's actually got in there in the Twitch chat before I could to answer a question, which was what will happen to ships which were parked at the stations at the time of the attack. Those will have been evacuated to a sort of rescue mega ship that will be in the same system for each of the ones that were attacked. That's sort of standard procedure for this kind of event.
We will visit said rescue ship very soon.
Yeah. We're actually on Zac's screen at the minute, but I've managed to multi-crew in, so maybe if it's not too much of a problem for Zac, if it is, he's just going to tell me off camera and we'll forget about it. But if he wants to swap it to the dual screen at any time, I'll try and have a nice photogenic angle.
I could definitely try that. Let's do the first run.
The cameraman role.
Let's do the first run so everybody can see the menus and stuff. And then once we've done the first run, we can try and switch into the duo.
Look at that. Look at Zac, guys. Everyone making perfect sense over here with his logic and his reason. All right.
So I'm in.
Father Bill, good to see you.
Oh, hello, Father Bill. Zac. That's all right. Yeah, I was just going to talk about the ship that I'm in. I'm in a Python that I've kitted out today specifically for this. And obviously, I'm sure there's experts in the chat in this kind of thing that would say, "Oh, I've done something wrong." But I think I've run a few sort of test runs of this, and it's working pretty well for me. Basically, I've just got a lot of passenger cabins. Economy is important because they give you the most space, and the people that want to get out don't really care where they're sitting. They just want a ship off the station. So make sure to use economy passenger cabins. And another thing that you really want is a heat sink because it will get quite toasty inside the starport.
Indeed. Commander XLA misses Stephen. We all miss Stephen already. It's there's a big Scotsman-shaped hole in our hearts for the time being. But we did give him a send-off on the last stream, so if you missed it, it should still be available on Twitch. And I think we uploaded it to YouTube. Towards the end, we had a nice little segment to give Stephen a send-off. You could also still drop him a message on the Frontier forums. He left a little goodbye thread. So, yeah, you can wave your goodbyes to him there if you would like.
Oh, I've not read that. Is there anything interesting in that thread? Does he say anything nice about us, Bruce?
I'm
gonna guess not, but
trying to remember now. I don't know. I mean, maybe you should read it, Zach. Maybe
yeah,
I should read it,
true.
to be fair. I might have just skimmed it.
So we're on our way to the station
that needs the Python is perfect for these. Sorry, I'm speaking over you. I'm being a terrible guest.
Oh, you're not. Just keep reading chat. That's fine. I'll just play the game.
No, that's fine. Yeah, Bongo, I think the Python is a good ship in general, but yeah, it's especially nice for this. I think the last time we did a passenger rescue stream, a certain commander whose name I won't mention made a royal mess of it by flying a beluga and getting it wedged in the slot and killing all of the passengers that were aboard. So actually contributing to the harm and the mayhem rather than saving innocents from it. But that's fine. It's not the reason we've gone for a Python this time around. It's just to show you that there are other builds you might want to use, sort of atypical passenger carrying ships.
Yep.
But yeah.
And the best bit about a Python is that you can quite easily switch that round for when the station needs repair. You can quite quickly change your cabin into cargo space. What are you laughing at, Bruce?
Absolutely. I'm laughing. Oh, I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to say anymore. I'll get in trouble. The commander in question might be in the chat.
I saw somebody in chat say, has Stephen left FDev? He has not. He's just working on a different project.
Indeed. Yeah, it won't be the last that you guys see of him, that's for sure. We'll drag him back onto streams now and then, no doubt. Probably not as a regular thing. I mean, Stephen's great, but
he's got other things to do now.
And he's a busy guy, very busy guy now. Not that he wasn't busy before.
Just digging a hole, Bruce.
I promise. I am just. I'm going to stop. Elite Dangerous 2 confirmed. I mean, we just made Odyssey. It was a little bit early to make a second.
Very premature. Let's see. So yeah, is there anyone in chat that can recommend any other good ships for rescuing passengers? Because obviously the Python works, obviously the Beluga works. What do you use to rescue passengers? Obviously low temperature is good, big cabin space is good. I'm not sure if there's anything that I'm missing that is a great ship for this.
Well, Grimskull 44 makes a salient point. So the benefit of a Python is, well, one of the benefits is that it's a medium ship.
Yep.
So if you're playing in open, then you won't be fighting other commanders for the large pad on the rescue ship.
That is true.
Got some recommendations in the chat. The Burrs like T7. Some people saying the Vet.
T7.
These are all sensible choices.
T7 over T9. I guess you got less chance of blowing up in a T7.
The pilot has given some additional info there. So he says that the pitch and yaw are identical on a Type 7, which makes landing quickly a lot easier. That makes sense. I'm trying to think if I've flown a T7 yet. I think I might have briefly.
Yeah, I think I did initially. On the way up to my Type 9.
T9 is too lumpy. Lumpy is the perfect word for the T9.
So anyone who's watched me stream before knows that I am very much a auto dock user. When you arrive at a burning starport, that is not available to you. So you basically have to make do with your own skills and try and go from there, all while your heat is rising. So if you check the heat on the ship, you'll notice that it goes up very rapidly when you're inside.
Yes, that's true. One way of getting around that is by having heat sinks, but if you're able to land and get out in reasonable time, you can get away with it without But if you wanted the extra...
And I've deployed my heatsink to give me more time to fuss around when I'm landing. Close, close. See, I did about 8 practice runs of this earlier with no trouble. And the moment I come on stream, I'm unable to land in a python.
It's always the way. That's just
Always
how
the
it goes.
way.
I think it's a curse.
Right, we're good this time.
That's right. You got this.
Yeah.
You got this.
It's easy now. Let's pop another heatsink. That's why I've got him. There we go. Yeah, and as Bruce said, once you're in, you're safe. So even if you are a terrible parker like me, as long as you do touch down at some point, the starport will cool you down. That is true. Explosions do push you. I don't think explosions push me there. That would be given an excuse for my terrible docking. But explosions can happen and they can push you around. So make sure you have shields as well. First try, correct. So this is a good time to talk about, if you've not seen this before, what's happening here with the UI is 100% what happens when a station is burning. It's not working properly. Everything is a bit glitchy. As you'll see, numbers and words change around. But all you got to do is head into the passenger lounge and pick up some passengers that you wanna get off the station. Handy tip for newer players: if you go here to the show reward choices, you can swap this to anything that you want to see a reward for. So you can be quite picky with who you rescue from these stations. So let's say I just want to take people who are going to reward me with materials. So I've sorted to materials, and then I'm just going to go down and select these people. And just just so on, and fill it with people that will give me materials if possible.
Nice. And just don't worry about the ethics of saving passengers based on what they can pay you.
No, you don't have to worry about that.
Don't even worry about that. Just the highest bidder deserves to live.
You can't take everyone, Bruce.
Well said, Spangy Man in the chat. I don't know if it's Spangy or Spange, but yeah, I'd love to save you, but...
And that'll do us. You'll notice that a lot of the passengers are quite eager to get off the burning station, so they will send you messages saying that they're impatient, but you'll be fine as long as you don't stick around for ages. Just take your time, because you're fine inside the starport, and then off you go. If you have heat sinks, it's a good opportunity to pop one just as you launch, because that'll give you you're going to get a bit of a boost in temperature as soon as you launch, so it's probably a good idea to pop a heat sink.
Nice. Jarek in chat asks, which class of passenger cabin should you be using?
Economy is the one, because that will give you the most space, most bang for your buck. But everybody, so usually in a passenger mission, you get like people who only accept first class. That is not the case when they just want to get off the starport. You just want to get off, so they'll sit anywhere. So just pick a common economy. And we're out of there. So once you got the passengers aboard, you want to head over to your navigation, and every station that is burning should have a rescue ship. So your next step is to head there.
Our 765 asks when the station stops burning. So after the initial sort of rescue effort, there'll come a point where the stations have sort of stabilized in terms of evacuating, and now they need help sort of repairing and fixing. That will come a little bit later. Which actually kind of neatly brings us on to the topic of Operation Ida. Zach, would you care to tell our audience a little bit about who Operation Ida might be if they haven't heard of them before?
So Operation Ida, interesting bit of facts about me. Operation Ida, when that first came about, I hadn't really started playing Elite Dangerous, and what they were doing actually got me back involved with the game. because I thought this is such a cool initiative. So basically, Operation Ida, when a station needs repair, initially this was because of Thargoid attacks, they will organize repair efforts. And recently, obviously, with the introduction of fleet carriers, that typically means that they'll bring a fleet carrier outside the station as close as possible and just kind of take materials back and forth. And they really do a pretty amazing job of fixing stations that when we set them, we particularly don't think they're going to be fixed as quickly as they are. But Operation Ida tend to fix them very quickly.
Indeed.
I saw Osashi's say in chat, nice flying, Zach. Thanks, Osashi's. But obviously, we know my true skill is SRV, which we'll find out at some point down the line soon.
Neonity wants to know if you'll be able to disembark in burning stations in Odyssey. That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that one. I suspect probably not, since everyone's trying to get out of those stations. But we can look into that for you guys.
It is an interesting question. So once you've landed on the rescue ship, if you're me, you want to repair everything, and then you want to head inside the starport and basically give the passengers away. And obviously, you get your choice of rewards. Like I said earlier, this is a great chance to pick up materials if you need them. So I'm just going to go through and pretty much cash in as many materials as I'm able to.
So Alien has asked thrice now, and I guess I'm going to answer. Who was Li King Zhao, the namesake of the station that we're rescuing passengers from? And I definitely wasn't putting off the question to make time for me to double check on the internet who that is. But it is a good question. So from my clearly well-established prior knowledge of the character in question, Li King Zhao was the inventor of the hyperdrive in Elite Dangerous lore in the 22nd century.
So that makes sense then why you would have a station named after you. So I'm testing out this dual screen idea that you suggested, Bruce. And
oh right.
Let me just say it's not working. So I'll give it 30 seconds while we chat.
Space. You know, that's not true. I'm actually supposed to be. Well, I am sat right next to you, right? Let's see if we can fix that.
That's a good question. How do I find damaged stations? I will show you that very, very soon. You can obviously go into Galnet and see a list of them, but there is a more convenient way, which I'll show you very soon. In fact, I'll show you it now while we wait, shall I?
All right. Modder told me in the chat says, remember the trick, which is, I suppose, like a modern version of use the force.
I guess so. I can't say I've ever heard of that phrase before.
You don't remember the trick then?
No.
All right. No problem.
So, if you want to find the starports that are burning, what you want to do is head to your galaxy map, and then over here in your options, you don't have to untick everything, but I have. And then if you go down here, you can select Show Damaged Starports. So you can toggle that on and off, and you can see exactly where the starports are that are burning, and obviously choose the one that's closest to you. So obviously we're in Sol right now with a burning station, so you can see the little symbol above. But you have quite a lot of choice right now if you want to help a burning station. Oh, nice. Another thing I wanted to quickly mention, if you don't just want to rescue passengers, there is salvage inside of these burning stations, and you can pick up missions to do these, and there's obviously different things. So there's damaged escape pod, occupied escape pod, etc., etc., and you can find lots of other stuff in there as well. And I would say, I'm not sure what people in chat would say, but I would say use collect limpets for that, just so that you're not sort of swannying around trying to trying to find cargo when you burn it up.
Sensible.
Right. So we'll head back to the starport to do some more. What we might do, Bruce, I don't know if you think it's a good idea. We have about 20 minutes left, so maybe after this trip, we'll jump into open. Why not? And do the same thing in open.
Sure.
That
All
can't
right.
go wrong, right?
To make it double the fun, I might hop on a different account as well. So there's twice the FDev representative for you guys to blow up. That's 100% more fun.
Right, we'll quickly try again the duo screen. And then we'll be on our way. Any questions for us, chat, while we wait?
Oh, seems like we've got no dice.
It's not looking that way, is it? I've tried all the tricks. I remembered the trick that Arf suggested. I've tried it. No dice.
All right, I suppose it just wasn't meant.
Okay, let us know when we are back, chat. We'll just wait for a second, just in case people need to refresh. No, like the other button.
Not the off button. That was not the trick.
Let's see. Are we back, chat?
I think we are.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't meant to be today.
Returned.
We are back.
Okay.
It looks like we're back.
Hello again, everybody. Apologies for the brief interlude. We hope you enjoyed the very deliberate break that we gave for you guys to grab a snack or whatever.
We're very thoughtful like that, Bruce, aren't we?
Yes, I mean we do like to take scheduled breaks now and then.
Yep.
They're scheduled for us, not for you. We don't tell you because
we just keep it interesting.
Surprise.
Yep.
Yeah. Keep chat on their toes.
So we're heading back to the starport to get some more people. And we're currently mass locked. I blame Arthur. He pressed the button, says just Jonah. Arthur is somewhere behind the scenes.
Yeah, maybe it was something we said and he just pulled the plug.
It's a very quick jump, usually, by the way, also from a burning starport to a rescue ship.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense, to be fair.
So we're approaching.
Aza Lacoma asks if shields help protect against the heat inside the burning station.
I don't think they help protect against the heat specifically, but they do help protect against the explosions and the debris. So it is wise to always have shields.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the tricky things actually about landing in a burning station is you are very liable to just get hit by a piece of debris that's flying around. So watch out for those.
So if I was the air traffic control in this station, I probably just wouldn't grant me access at this point because I'm probably more hassle than it's worth.
It's like, don't bother. We're just going to start pinging people out of the mail slot.
Yeah.
They've got a better chance.
Like that. I got a little stuck there.
Nah, it's definitely not true. I think you've done a solid job so far.
A lot of pressure, you know, when people are getting a bit toasty.
It is. It definitely is. Nikita Verbin from YouTube asks which ship we're flying today. We're flying a Python.
We are indeed.
The medium multi-purpose magnificent wonder.
One of my new favorites. Before I started exploring, I'm obviously a Crate Phantom fan, but with I should probably concentrate. with as I was leveling up my trading game, I went from a type 7, a type 6, then a type 7, then a Python, and then eventually a type 9. But I kept the Python because I really just like flying it.
Hmm. It is a really good ship. Certainly one of my favorites as well.
So same again.
Does a bit of everything. It's a bit like a small Anaconda, I guess. Well, a medium one. Yeah.
So not everyone will have materials, so unfortunately they'll be staying behind for now. Python has better optional internal slots than the crate. Debatable. Depends what you really what you're outfitting your ship for. To be fair, I think a lot of crate users tend to kit it out for quite long exploration. In which case, you don't really want a lot on your ship anyway. And that will do us. On foot, these things would be looking insane. I agree, but also you would probably be in quite a distressed state if you were walking around here on foot.
Yes, that's true.
And so we head back to the rescue ship. I saw some people saying earlier on today that this is a good way to rank up your sort of rank with Federation, Empire, etc. So if it is something that you do want to unlock the later ranks of the Federation and Empire, maybe find one of these stations that are under the what's the word? I don't know what the word is. Under the influence, yeah, we'll go with influence and help them out because that will boost your ranking.
Yeah, that's a really solid piece of advice there for gaining rank. Obviously, you'll have to have a little bit of Fed rank already if you want to get into Sol, which is where we're playing. Same goes for Akanar. You'll need a bit of Imperial reputation to unlock those permits. But if you don't have either of those, there are, well, 7 other stations that need help. Ermir asks how these rescue missions compare for the other sort of circuit loop routes that people use to grind or farm superpower reputation. That's a very good question. I imagine it's better.
Yeah, I think
off the top of my head.
I think one of the strong parts of this is the materials as well. So whilst you're doing this, you can obviously take the rewards for materials as well, and it's quite a quick way of gathering quite a lot of different material.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you could very easily just take the highest reputation reward offered each time and probably do quite well if you're looking to increase those ranks. Mark Tilling says good evening and that they're going to be jumping in to help the rescue very soon.
Nice.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for your service.
Just checking all these missions. What do you think, Bruce? Should we try open, or have we pushed our luck already this stream at this point?
Well, I'm up for it, but it's a little bit cheeky for me to say that because you're the pilot. But if you're up for it, then
Chat.
I say we have a bit of fun.
Let's let chat decide. Should we try open? Bear in mind we've already crashed the stream once today.
Yay or nay into a little bit of open play for the end of the stream, guys. All right, lots of yeses. It's definitely a yes.
Okay. I thought that would be the case. Let's head into open. I'm interested in what stations are being helped the most at the minute. So if you are doing this, chat, please do let me know. I want to look at chat and see, which stations are getting a bit of a boost. I'm assuming Lave might be getting quite well looked after right now.
I suspect Lave will do very well. Akinar and Sol as well, obviously our go-tos for people who want to support their chosen faction.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's a bit of data that we can pull. If we can get our hands on the actual numbers.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Maybe we'll share that in an upcoming stream just to see and compare how they... I mean, maybe there'll be a place that just got like, I don't know, less than 1% of the support. Maybe we should shut such a station down because you guys didn't do enough. Don't know.
True.
Although I suppose that would apply more for the repairing phase than the evac.
Yep. An interesting idea. Right, so we're going to head back to Li King Jiao. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this time we're in open. So it's very possible that I don't make it. Can actually be interdicted by NPCs on the way through here anyway. So that is something to be aware of when choosing your ship and outfitting.
Indeed.
Full throttle, don't look back. That's what we're doing.
That is the way.
This is the way indeed.
Calipar says this is a feint and that the real attack is coming somewhere else.
Interesting theory.
The tinfoil is strong with this one. I approve. Speaking of tinfoil, there is the seeds of a mystery have been sown very recently. I don't know if you guys caught wind of that in the chat. I won't say much more, but watch back Tuesday's stream.
Yeah.
Or skim through our social posts on Twitter and Facebook, and you might find a couple of clues. And you might be able to tie them to some news that you find elsewhere and start to form a picture of some events which have started to unfold.
Very tinfoil hat indeed. It's just the beginning, Bruce, I would say. Just the beginning.
Indeed, it's very much just the beginning. JD Larry says, so you need passenger cabins for this type of recovery. You can't use cargo bays for the refugees.
Unfortunately,
no,
not.
You cannot stuff the refugees alongside your bio waste or, your void opals or whatever. You can't cram them in there. It's got to be a proper passenger cabin.
Well, we've got a bit of time, actually. Let's Let's send out some limpets and see if we can get anything, shall we?
Sounds good.
And in the meantime, I'll just get closer to landing. Pop off a heatsink when you need to. We might not collect anything. We may do. Do we know if Colonia or other regions will be targeted? We'll have to wait and see.
Major Sinkhole asks why we call it tinfoil when really it's aluminium.
Is that an English thing, or is tinfoil hat a global?
That's a good question. Can our friends across the pond confirm if you also call it a tinfoil hat? I think you guys do. I think it's probably because no one's got time to say aluminum foil hat every time they want to reference.
That's true. That is true.
Crazy theories. But yeah, pretty sure that's a universal thing.
It's global. Nice. Not many materials on the go this time, so we may have to take just about anybody. I actually thought that we would be instanced because I assume there's a lot of people currently at Sol helping out. I guess maybe the permit makes it less popular of a destination, but surely if you do have a Sol permit and you are helping out, I reckon Sol is probably the one that a lot of people are going to choose to head to first.
Yeah, I would say so. Not least because Federation rank takes a little bit more getting than
it does.
The Imperial one.
So what I could do is switch in my fire group when possible because I'm out of heat sinks on this one. Let's fire that one off as we go. And we're out.
Nicely done.
Much easier on the way out. Much easier.
Yeah, it didn't even explode one time.
Not yet.
Would you look at that?
We have been hit by a couple of explosions. I don't know if you've seen chat. It's not always my bad flying. Sometimes the ship will sort of boost to the side like that, and that is because we've been hit by an explosion. So that is why shields are quite important when you're doing this. And we're on the way.
Oh, you've just received a challenge, Zach.
Have I?
Yeah, you have. So our resident photographer / videographer, Commander Orange Phoenix, has challenged you to do the next run in camera mode.
That is an impossible challenge.
It's definitely not. I have complete and utter faith. It sounds a lot harder than it is, I think. If you can find like a decent angle, sort of a decent third-person camera angle, and then you fly your ship as normal.
I can barely land it in pilot mode right now.
It might even help because you can see the landing pad from another perspective. It's just getting through the mail slot. You'll really want to have your spatial awareness sort of turned up.
Right.
FA off would be a real challenge. But
FA off
I'm not gonna
camera.
suggest he does that, Nick. How many FA off pilots do we have in the chat? I haven't yet mastered FA off. I'm not even close. I've barely even tried, to be fair. Every time I have tried, it has not gone very well.
Only for turning. Interesting. So why am I using the docking computer? I wanted to use the docking computer here. One, because I like it and it makes my life easier. And two, because I wanted to show that if you do have a docking computer, it does not work when you enter a burning station. You have to do it manually.
Dead Meat GF, who has a commendable username,
Yep.
says that the Thargoids are being set up and Aegis are the enemy. Quite possibly the boldest
Tinfoil hat time.
tinfoil hat theory that I've heard today. That aluminum is nice and thick.
We do have a lot of FA off players in chat, which is good.
Yeah.
You're very much more skilled than me.
I do make fun, but at the same time, as this sort of storyline in particular unfolds, we would absolutely encourage that kind of thinking. We do want you guys sort of talking about and theorizing and trying to understand really what's going on, because there's going to be a level of having to work out, like, the more you sort of investigate and go off the beaten track to look into things, and I mean this in game, out of game, the more you will discover, and there will be sort of other perspectives and elements and sort of viewpoints to see the story from, which will add a lot of depth to it. So I'm making fun, but also that's great.
That's exactly what I want to see. The theories.
Pimer wants to know if we've played in VR. I've only had the pleasure of playing in VR one time. It was actually on stream with Stephen.
Nice.
We visited the Thargoid site, and yeah, it was incredible, really. It's quite the experience.
Yeah, I haven't done it myself, not yet.
We'll have to get you in as soon as we're in the office again.
Yep, I shall give it a go.
Get that headset on and give it a try, because it really is something else.
Looking at all the theories in chat now.
Admiral Boreal wants a shout out to the Odyssey Galactic Expedition. Yeah, go those guys for sure.
we have shouted those guys out before. Yeah, give us a rundown.
Okay.
Give us a rundown.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you could give us a quick summary of who they are and what they do, I'll even read it out for you. Father Bill says VR is incredible. And Father Bill would absolutely know. If anyone in the chat hasn't dropped by Father Bill's streams yet, you absolutely should. Absolutely should.
Right.
Serbenstein has been feeding Thargoids for a while and asks if there are plans to re-implement pro-Thargoid features. Well, there are no plans to speak of at the moment. I'm interested to know how many Thargoid sympathizers we have in the chat. I've seen a couple already. Seen a couple.
They're always out there.
In terms of high-profile ones, we know that our good friend Malik VR, another great streamer, if you haven't seen them yet, is pro-Thargoid.
Right.
So yeah, how many in the chat? If we can get pro versus anti, so pro in the chat if you think Thargoids are actually the innocent ones, or anti if you like squashing bugs and that's never going to change. I'm interested to see what the ratio is.
Hang on. I think
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it.
I'm not doing it.
There you are. You're nice and lined up. Lots of pro Thargoid sentiment in the chat on Twitch and YouTube. I'm surprised, actually. Okay.
So, because I'm on the laptop, my num0 isn't working properly.
Ah.
So I'm doing this with a
Oh no, but you fixed the camera so
a
that you're
static camera.
Oh no. Well, that's just going to be straight up impossible.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, not quite, but like near enough.
I'm sure some of the proper commanders could do that.
I do really want you to get you're in the grill, aren't you?
I've given up.
Ah, okay. It was a very commendable effort.
I'm sorry, chat. When we're back in the office and I'm not on the laptop, I can do it then, for sure. Now I tried it. I don't think it's that impossible. I say that as I gave up, obviously. Send off our heatsink as usual. Also, if you are a bad parker like me, shields is another reason why you would take shield. And there is an explosion. That's a good example of an explosion. Right, we'll take these last passages, Bruce, and then we'll call it a night.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little bit hesitant, but you've actually gotten away with doing a couple runs, and no one even came to
no one's
on your parade.
Not yet.
So if you want to blow Zac up, guys, you've got about 30 seconds to do it.
Now's your chance.
But I'm going to give it the kiss of death and say that I reckon you're basically home and dry already.
I think so.
And that you're going to get away with it.
I think so. Now, obviously, there are a lot of different reasons why you would take these missions. Obviously, the rewards are the most important. You can get different amounts of money, different amount of passengers, obviously, depending on how big your ship is. So it's really just about exploring the options and choosing, as always with missions, the reward that suits you. Unless you're just a really good person and you want to get everybody off the starport, which is, commendable and what you really should do.
NMB Grace says, Bruce, go on and kill Zac, which really appeals to the sort of the chaotic evil side of me. But I will not this time. I've never been known to turn on my fellow community managers in a stream and blow them up. That's the dishonorable thing to do, and I would never. Serpenstein is suggesting a feature whereby you could actually feed meta alloys to Thargoids to make them appear friendly on the radar and see sort of how that affects players' interactions with them. I'm open to the idea. Maybe I don't know if that specifically, but the idea of offering a peaceful or even a cooperative and supportive way to interact with the Thargoids.
Yeah.
Because then we could track that versus how many actually choose to engage in AX combat and get a real feel for how many in the community, like what the split is in the community. And it would be nice to work that into CGs and all sorts and see how that might play out.
It would certainly be interesting to, like you said, gauge how many of the commanders would help them. I reckon it'd be more than we think.
Yeah, I mean, going off chat, maybe Thargoid sympathizers are more vocal than just the regular bug squashers.
True.
But it certainly seemed, I was surprised in the chat, it was like actually more pro than anti, I think. So I was surprised. I would have thought they were a minority. I would have guessed maybe something like 15-20%.
Yeah. Okay, looks like we made it clean.
Oh, he's got away with it, guys.
There was a
He's
anaconda.
only gone and done it.
There was an anaconda who approached the burning station, but I believe they were there to help, so we're all good.
Very nicely done, Zac.
Is there a conversation going on about tea in the chat? It looks like it. Cream is good with tea. More of a standard milk person myself, but each to their own. Almond milk goes in tea. Yeah, that's fair enough. Why is the rescue ship so far away? Actually, I think it's pretty close.
It is pretty close, I think.
Right, we shall hand over these passengers. We're taking a lot of reputation this time.
Nice, yeah. As we said, guys, if you wanted to pick up reputation for your chosen superpower, you can go to Akinawa or Sol, and yeah, if you just slam that reputation every time you're trying to cash in on your passenger rescue rewards, then that should be very favorable.
And there we go. So I shall move us back to the main camera, but that is basically the current event that is ongoing in Elite Dangerous. That is a burning station, and there are 9 of them in total at the minute for you to help out at. So I'm sure there's one fairly close if you are in the bubble to you. So yeah, please do help out those stations if you can. Right. Well, I believe that is all we've got time for today. So Bruce, any final words for today's stream?
Only to say thank you for everyone for tuning in. We always appreciate your support, and yeah, we hope you enjoyed the stream where we showed off how you might get involved with the latest event. It's not a CG, of course, but passenger missions are available now. We've sort of got 9 stations that are in the burning state, so there'll be the evac phase and then the usual fixing stuff phase. I couldn't think of a nice word for that, but yeah, anything you want to summarize or point players back to, Zac, that we mentioned at the beginning?
I guess the 2 groups, if you do want to help out, you can use !PDES in chat or !Medicorp in chat, and they are 2 groups that are currently specializing in rescuing passengers from these burning starports. So you obviously can do it by yourself like we did today, but if you do want to join a group of players and do it, those would be a great place to start.
Definitely. Also, let's give another shout out to Airability, who are putting on a special event on Saturday called the Armchair Aurora. It's a free to attend live stream event that will be all about the science and art behind an aurora. One of the guests is Nigel Meredith, who will be talking about sounds of space as recorded at Halley Research Station in Antarctica, and how they've combined with piano music to create ambient soundscapes. This is particularly interesting for Elite players because the sounds of space from Halley do actually feature in the game itself. So we thought this would be an interesting one for you guys to tune into. If you're on Twitch, !Aurora. If you're on YouTube, just Google searching Airability Armchair Aurora should give you all the details you need to watch the event.
Indeed. Right. So thank you for joining us, everybody, and we shall be back. What day is it? We shall be back on Tuesday. So until then, 07 Commanders.